we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tech Shaman Show. I think this is episode 29.
Good morning.
We got a lot to talk about this morning. You need to get your mic set to you, bud, there.
Oh.
Nope.
Nope.
You got it. Sorry, we'll set it in a second. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. We have a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the good old. Failure of wonderful Target. I guess they just don't want your money.
Yes.
So it is what it is. No, they couldn't take credit cards. They couldn't take gift cards. They wouldn't process checks because it takes all the whole system sits up there. I'm going to ask Rob to come out here and help set this guy's mic so that way we can get going on our show. And then we're going to talk about some InfoComm information because I'll tell you what, we only got one day there because, again, we're really a working studio. And so we didn't have, you're not going to be able to get there. Just walk for the camera, dude. It's all right. Just really doesn't matter at this point in time. So we went to InfoComm. I kind of really did need more than a day. Send that knob down there to spin it, please. But what we did see there was absolutely, matter of fact, it was kind of cool. We went there. And we've been having a problem with our Zoom machine, and it's just aggravating that you can't get signal back sometimes to it other than just a webcam that's wide and doesn't look good. But that's kind of what you deal with because normally we use our vMix system to switch with, and because it doesn't give me true talkback to the other person that's on the other side. Only that talent can talk to them, that we've been trying to find different situations. Well, the boys over at New Tech introduced me to, and I knew about the product. I just wasn't paying attention to it. So we're going to talk about some New Tech stuff. And I'll tell you what, folks, everybody wants 8K, 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 and I think last Tech Shaman show, I even said there's going to be something about 4K that I'm going to backtrack on a little bit, and here's how I'm going to backtrack on that. 4K is useful in our industry when we want to film wide and we want to do a really good close-up.
Right.
So if I had a 4 camera out there, I could take a 4K camera out front on our wide shot and turn that into 4 shots. Our multiple shots, but I could do a close-up. But the problem is then you got people that not knowing where they're looking. It's kind of a funky look because you're not looking at a camera anymore. But yeah. So and there was, we ran across. We'll jump into InfoComm first until you get your stuff up and running. One thing about InfoComm that I like is it lets me know what's new going on in our industry, and we came across software. It's called ShowFlow, and normally we just run either a spreadsheet in the back that has our show daily, then we know that this is what we do. And then sometimes we don't need anything at all. Me and Rob have been doing this so long that we just kind of know what we have to do. But if I ever bring people in, I'm not going to sit, now I've got to put my brain knowledge into their brain so they can know what I know. And that's just way too hard. Well, this product is called ShowFlow. And what it does, it allows us to, in our situation, oh, look at him putting it up. It allows us to literally craft our day out.
Right.
So it allows to put assets, it can even, which I blew my mind, it can even allow us to control teleprompting from software.
Really?
Which is really not, we don't use a lot of teleprompting here, as you can tell. We're more of a, I don't know if that's blown out or if it's just me. I don't know what it looks like back there. So, Okay. We already know what comes in, and we put everything in line, and we get it all set. But if I get hit by a truck on the way to a show after I set it up the night before or earlier day, then the person sitting down has no idea. This thing will allow us to go shot by shot for each show. And then if we do need teleprompting, it allows us to put a teleprompter out there. Not that I like that I hate teleprompters. Teleprompters, they're important in certain realms, but for the most part, I don't like them. They just take extra manpower, and the people sitting here are not smart enough to know how to use it.
Right.
I'm not saying they're idiots. I'm not saying they're dumb, but you got to pay attention. You got to know what you're doing, because there's a speed. You got to set, you set your talking speed. But we're not teleprompted here. Everything we do here is kind of basically people know what they're going to talk about when they come in, and they just talk.
Exactly.
I'd love to say we're teleprompted, but we're not. So that's a very cool software. But the whole show, I love the fact that it's called what it does, show flow. It literally is the flow of how your shows are supposed to go. And then in big event stuff, which Rob and I are both used to doing as well, is this software would have been great back in the day, because we were using Excel spreadsheets and last minute changes, which you didn't get because it wasn't connected as such. This software is everybody can be in line. So lighting guy, audio guy, video guy, the producer, your technical director, everybody has a version running, and then that bad boy tells and so if there's a last minute change, it shows up as a last minute change.
So you can have somebody in the background making changes and have
absolutely.
it. Wow.
Which is awesome. Excel can kind of do the same thing now that it's online, but you get somewhere, I don't know. It's just, to me, this is a much better thing, because it doesn't, with ShowFlow, it doesn't give us the, this gives us the ability to have everything. It's got everything, boom, 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 which is killer. To me, it's
I like the colored highlights too. That helps separate the.
Oh yeah, because it's like, these are trigger points, and that's some of the stuff they can do is trigger points.
Yeah, you can't do that in Excel.
Well, you can, but you have to know what you're doing when you're writing Excel. Which I used to be a really big Excel guy, and I just said I'm not doing this anymore. So I used to do drawing layouts in Excel.
Oh wow! Yeah,
I could do a floor layout in Excel. People are like, "How the hell do you?" I'm like, I just use the assets that are inside Excel. I had tables, I had chairs, I had
oh my gosh!
I could do round tables, square tables. It didn't really matter. So. So that's one of the cool things. And then we went by, we went by New Tech. I was talking about the NDI app. We went by New Tech, and New Tech again. We love vMix Call. To us, it's because it keeps everything encapsulated. It's in our system. But every now and then you get a thing where it just doesn't work on, because I have to be able to talk to the people. And it has a messaging thing. And I guess I could. There are ways around it. But when you start adding virtual this and virtual puts, I'm like, I'm done. If I can't push a button and make it work, I don't want to have to do all the virtual crap,
right?
Virtual wiring, and if you do a virtual output and blah blah blah, no, that's not what I want to do. It's got to be easy, and it has to be easy for someone to sit down and learn it too, not sit there. Well, if you got to do this to do this, and if you punch this button, no, it's not going to work that way. So. We use a product called Zoom. It's like Skype. It's just more professional. As a matter of fact, the new thing now is Zoom rooms. That a lot of these conference centers are setting up Zoom rooms. So you go in and there's digital whiteboards and the whole 9 yards. We just use it as a simple, like Skype.
Right.
But it's solid, right? Well, the problem we've been having is if we use an external machine that's using Zoom, right? I have to put a webcam out, so they can kind of see. Well, New Tech was talking about their NDI products, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to see if I can find it again. They have this thing called a virtual input, and it works with Zoom. So Zoom sees the output of your machine, just like we're looking at that monitor straight in front of us.
Right.
It takes that and it shows it to the client. So the clients get an actual feel of what the show actually is looking like, which is awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
So And that's kind of what we want. And then I'm reading through here, and then it also has NDI has a VLC plugin. So for you that don't know what VLC is, it's more of a pro video player.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads codecs that most players do not. But they have an NDI plugin for VLC that you can actually have another. If you put the NDI app on yours and the NDI app on another one, you can send that video to another machine through IP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's, in a way, I mean, if you really, it could be used as digital signage, but it's really meant for, but it's, and it's compatible with only PCs.
Only PC right now?
Yeah, no Macs. So, but anyway, so that was a good thing. That's one of those things where, okay, well, I really needed to go look at it, and I'm kind of glad I did. And anybody that knows about putting the NDI app onto Creative Cloud or into your PCs, it just takes over Premiere horribly. They don't like it. They say you can use it, but just telling you, people do not like it. So, so that was another big thing for us. And then we come across Black Magic, who was always one of our favorite booths to go look at because they have pretty cameras. Now, Panasonic was there, JVC was there, Sony was there. They're all there, right? But the Black Magic cameras are, to me, some of the most affordable to become a professional videographer and get away from the DSLR world. There's probably the most inexpensive, but yet badassery.
Right.
That's what I'm going to call it. Pieces of hardware.
Right.
Because you can get into this. You can get into the pro,
Mm-hmm.
not the prosumer, the pro. For a camera, I mean, the body itself, you could probably get in at about, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000, and then after that, it's all about the glass.
Right.
So depending on what kind of glass you want to buy, but you can get a killer setup for less than $5,000, right, Rob? I mean, if we get a decent, a lens, I think you probably, if you spend $1,500 on the body, yeah, about $5,000, and just a monster. They have these little bitty. I mean, they were shooting some of the stuff that we were looking at on a camera, not that would fit in the palm of my hand, and it's 4K.
Wow.
Now it is 4 1/3 chips, 4 1/3 chips, and then the small ones I think is 2 1/3 chips. So I'm not so sure about trying to get a 4K squeezed down to a 1/3 chip, but the chips are getting better. So I remember shooting high definition on a 4/3 chip when it was just high def, and to me it looked grainy and did not like low light. So it wasn't a very low lux camera, which is what it is. Then we jumped over to a company called Technilux. Now, in the studio here, what people don't see is all the backlighting that we've got.
Right.
And I love the set when there's no front lighting up. It's beautiful. It's like we have these oranges and reds and greens, and it just looks really good. But the problem is when you get in the video world, you have to wash the stage, or you have to wash us, and it's too much light. And we have very low ceilings, so to have that precise control. Well, we found this little company here that's got a little LED. What was that? What was the size of that LED? Do you remember it, Rob? 3 watts. 3 watts.
Wow.
The ceiling in this place, in over OCC, was what? 35, 40 feet. And this thing put a spot out.
On a 3 watt?
On a 3 watt that you could see, I mean, perfect in the ceiling in this place, right? So 3 watts. And absolutely, and it was like $90.
Wow.
So I could literally put 3 of those right up where I'm at, right? And it would be,
just imagine the power savings.
I could just pop. Because I love that look. I love that just you lit up, right?
Right.
And then the whole back is just popped. So we're going to probably order a couple of these from her and put them in here just to play with. And they really don't need to be out there. They can really need to be more over top of it so they don't spill. And then the guys next to them, and we're going to show a video on this. I think Rob's got it. Let him get it up real quick. And they're called Astera. And so have you ever watched the shows and the commercials where they have the cars driving down a path and it's just a singular tube lights?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They look like lightsabers, right?
Yeah.
But they're not lightsabers, right? So anyway, and so all of us are like, oh, that's really good. Now, normally if you put into Google, standing light tubes, it always goes to Home Depot and crap like that, right? Which I guess you could use those, but it doesn't do what these do. Well, these, if you look behind us, that's what they are, and they're wireless. You can control them wirelessly, and they are you can power them or they can charge them, and then they give you a 10-hour charge.
Not bad.
It says 20. You can do 20, but the lights are smart lights. So when you go in there and tell it that I want to use this for 20 hours, it dims it. So you get the 20-hour usage.
Oh, very nice.
Right? Or you can say 3 hours and the lux goes up or the brightness goes up. But these are absolutely phenomenal. I could put them right over us and it would light just right here, which is really killer. So this is one of the, it was kind of funny the night before because I had a potential client that I was talking to that needs to do this. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got to go find
something
lights.
Like this would be good for on location when you have to go out.
Well, that's what it is. That's you walk around like our con TV that we're trying to start where you don't want to carry a big bank of lights. Well, you can literally walk around with this. That's all you need.
How bright are they?
They are, what did they say? Oh, hold on, I'll tell you. Helios tubes, right? Let's just do the big one. That one right there. I think the brightest you can get them, according to their technical specifications, 144 watts.
Wow.
On LEDs.
With battery.
Wow. And
that time
you can
frame?
you can fine tune the color.
Jeez.
It's a color wheel on your phone.
Yeah. Kind of like the Lux light or Philips hues.
Yep, exactly. You find the color you want, and it's absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. It was the day before I was Googling those. I'm like, okay, where do I rent them or where do I go to buy them? So I'm like, that is pretty stinking badass. But let's go ahead and play that video real quick when you get a chance, Rob. All right, cool. No, give it some audio. It's German. I love the Germans. They can figure all this stuff out. It's kind of cool.
I'm Sasha Strunk from Astera, and I'm going to show you today just how easy it is to use our equipment to create a successful lighting setup without cables. About a year ago, we showed you what's possible with our powerful wireless lights. Today, we'll show you the manufacturing process and a view behind the scenes. Let's take a look now at the 3 types of spot lamps in more detail, and I'll show you the advantages of Astera when it comes to saving time and the many highly useful features in our app. All Astera spotlights have the following technical features in common: outdoor capability through IP65, 13-degree beam angle, and changeable filters for 32-degree and 17 times 46. Our lights can be controlled in 3 ways. First, the Astera infrared mode. Second, our custom Astera app. And third, via wireless DMX from Lumen Radio or WDMX. All spotlights can be operated via AC power, and they continue working during a power cut. Let's look at the AX3 first, our all-purpose mini-spot, 15-watt Cree RGBW LED. The variety of different mounts make it highly prized. A levering screw for tilting, a bracket with a foldable leg, and a thread to attach clamps and bolts. And finally, the magnetic back offers almost unlimited mounting possibilities. It can be used in so many different ways. A small, flexible spot with a big impact. The AX7 is our workhorse with its 60-watt Cree RGBW LEDs. It offers a large range of different uses, uplighting a facade, as wall washer, or for stage shows. Its robust yet elegant housing means it's designed for use both indoors and outdoors. And all this without wires to produce a stunning outcome. Let's focus on our third spot lamp, the AX10, with 135-watt and Philips RGB AW LEDs. Unlike the other lamps, it features additional amber LEDs. With this combination, the AX10 reaches a high color rendering value with a CRI of 92. That makes it very popular for TV and film productions, musicals, high-end galas and exhibitions. With its high output and the 32-degree filter, it's also ideal for flood and architectural lighting. To get the ideal light for all purposes, Astera is continually developing, and as you can see, there's already news about changes, and we'll have more on that in the future. But the technical features of our lights aren't the only attraction of Astera. The big advantage lies in the constantly evolving app, because it allows for incredibly fast and efficient application and control. All the lights can be switched on within seconds, without touching them, thanks to infrared. It's how several lights can be controlled at the same time without wasting energy. It can be used in combination with the app to create groups during the setup. Just split your lights, select a new sync set, select the corresponding lights, press save, and do it all again on the other side. Select the second sync set, save again, and there are your 2 groups. And now a promise. It's no problem to split 100 Astera lights of any model into 2 groups and prepare them for setup in less than 10 minutes. In the same way, you can also assign DMX addresses. One of the most useful tools is the seamless runtime. With very simple commands, you can program all your lights so that the event, including setup, takes, say, 13 hours. So the batteries need to last that long. The lights are adjusting their brightness automatically, and this can be set to a maximum of 20 hours. The app also allows you to create programs quickly. Static colors, access to standard gel table, color transitions, the after-show party mode, and sound to light. Many different features are available. The possibilities of grouping and color effects will be explained in more detail in our tutorials. Here's another useful feature. Astera allows you to set up and install for an event and put all lamps into a power-saving standby mode. Another possibility is to set a start and end time, which means that the lights are switching on for the beginning of the event and then switch off afterwards. Because it's wireless and no bigger than an ice hockey puck, the AX3 is very easy to slip into a pocket. But to combat potential theft, there's an alarm. If it's activated, a sensor triggers an alarm within seconds, so the light will be unusable for those trying to take it. At your event, you can, of course, also use your individual settings for the theft alarm. For example, turn the siren on or off, or change the sensitivity, so the alarm won't be triggered by small movements. Another useful feature is the emergency light. If the lights are connected to power and there's a DMX or power cut, all lights will go into full white mode. Total safety in an emergency. Because all Astera lights are communicating live with the app, you can check all settings at any time. It's the same to monitor the battery status or to highlight individual lights. If you now open a light's instructions, you can change all parameters anytime. For example, to set the light into standby mode, and all this without even touching the lights. By the way, any return to the warehouse is just as simple. As soon as the lights are connected to power, they directly start to communicate with the app again, no matter which mode was used for the lights at an event. Just reset them, enter the PIN, and confirm with infrared. And that's it. In short, you have huge efficiency during use thanks to the smart connection between Astera lights and the app. In our example, 6 employees, 350 lamps, 4,000 square meters facade area, and in just 5 hours, everything is set up. In our tutorials, we'll explain the handling in even greater detail, so that using all features is even more straightforward. So have fun at your next event.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. I mean, they're a German company, so, you know, everything's bulletproof and heavy duty and cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying the Americans don't make cool stuff, but that's pretty stinking badass.
I bet you they all work off a mesh network.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. So, and then, but I want to jump back to the Technolux guys. Now, those guys are local. They're out of Orlando. So, and then they had some really cool stuff. So here's something funny. I went and asked, I was the only person that ever, well, they asked the question, but when people, that gets the color and the short throwness of it. So we have a ton of park hands, right, that we don't use anymore.
Right.
And I'm one of these hoarders that just don't want to throw anything away. So I said to him, okay, I got park hands and I want the LED converted bulbs for it. He goes, well, the problem is, I said, well, wait, before I'm not done yet. I said, well, I have short ceilings. You know, we only have 9-foot ceilings in here, or actually you have 9.5. It's a short throw. He goes, oh, well then that's kind of what you want. I'm like, yeah, because I knew where he was going, because most of the time LEDs just don't throw far enough.
Right.
That to do what we want to do. But what we want to do is we want it to be able to just throw shorts. Mm-hmm. And he goes, oh yeah, then it would work for you. I'm like, yeah. So he goes, you're the only person that's ever said it's okay for a short throw.
Right. So,
because I told him, you know, he goes, okay, so the guy's working on some pricing for me, which is kind of nice. I appreciate that.
Nice.
Because if you can pull LED and do it right, and then, you know, and then of course, you know, we tell them that we want it, you know, we want color temperature is.
Right.
So in here we like 3,500. It seems more natural, gives you a little more better skin tone, the whole 9 yards. Because LEDs have a tendency to run blue. Everything looks blue, and then you have to trick the camera to get skin tone color. Right. So that's Technolux, and those were really some nice people. Black Magic was good, and then we met because I'm a lighting. You know, I'm not a lighting guy, but I'm trying to find lighting sources that aren't not going to kill my budget. And this guy, I saw him last time we were over there, and it's called the Light Source, guys out of North Carolina. And we were, you know, we got to start talking whole 9 yards. And I thought about saying, well, here's my problem. I have low ceilings.
Right.
and because I'm always looking for a way to connect, because we have short ceilings, to connect a truss system in here that doesn't hang down too low. Hold on, this guy had the perfect solution. There's this long tube thing that electric's built into it, DMX is built into it, whole 9 yards. So it allows us to go up and go through a panel, a drop ceiling panel, and grab one of the little beams up there.
Oh, nice.
So so I'm like, well, that's perfect. And then he actually showed me a couple of his low profile lights that absolutely phenomenal when it comes to washes. So that's a good guy. But he also, it's when you go and tell people what you need. And the best thing I've always found is for us, we always go on the last day.
Right.
I keep trying to yawn. Gosh, I'm sorry. It's been a long weekend. It's been a bad weekend. It's been a great weekend, but it was a very bad weekend. My aunt died, so I may have to go to Connecticut. But yeah, so it's amazing, huh? Oh yeah, see this right here? It's got the DMX built into it and the power, and this pole can be up to, I think he said 8 feet long. And they accordion, so you tell them how long you want it, and then they put it. Yeah, it's 8-foot sections, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I know this is kind of boring to some of you people at home, but I'm telling you right now, if you have low ceilings and you need to have lighting, this is kind of the way to do it. But anyway, yeah, but these guys were really cool, and I liked them. And they had okay, so when you go to these shows and everybody has this big steel, silvery truss, this monstrosity stuff. They build their own truss for their clients that are round, or no, theirs were square,
right?
And they had, so every 2 inches, it was like a 4-bolt pattern. It was all tapped, so you could hang different types of fixtures. So you didn't have the typical big silver truss, which makes me start changing my mind about what truss I've got going over to our cons and stuff. I'm almost thinking I could go with a steel or aluminum round,
right?
And just get that. To me, I'm like, okay, that might be. So now my brain's thinking, we might be able to change this. And then we saw this one guy's truss that was this twisted spin with spun in, and the guy he goes, we asked him, where'd you get, do you sell the truss? He goes, oh no, we just bought this because we thought it was cool, but more people stop by to ask about the truss than they do the product that he's selling, which I find I find it very, very funny. But that was InfoComm. And there's way more. I mean, there's so much more that I could sit here all day long and geek out about all this stuff, because, Sennheisers are now making smaller microphones, body packs.
Okay.
Digital they have a new adjustable headset, was absolutely phenomenal. That was very nice, and it looked like it was made out of stainless steel.
Wow.
Very cool. Very, very cool. It was also very expensive, but it's Sennheiser. And digital signage, holy crap. There was one complete section to digital signage. And it was, that's, I guess that's the big thing that everybody's pushing right now is digital signage, and how you can do it wirelessly versus wired now. You don't have to do this and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And we talked to a guy that, so we have behind me, you can't see it. Put up Adam's shot. Let's see if we can see that behind him. Nope. Anyway, what we have on set, we have these square or trapezoidal shelves. Mm-hmm. We could wrap those in 1 inch by 1 inch LED screens. Oh yeah, okay. So on the wide, and those become TV screens.
Nice.
Yeah. And top size. And basically what, the way they do it, they build it, but if you just order the squares yourself and then put them on, and then you just put your wireless transmitter on it.
Nice.
It can be wireless. And they can run digital signage all the way. So you can either have four independent or 5 independent sides, or you can have it where it comes around.
Now what kind of resolution?
Well, it's LED.
Okay. Oh,
so
okay.
It's not like it's going to be flat screen.
Right.
But it's enough movement and enough. It's a attention getter, and that was very, very cool. We were talking to one company from, is it Beijing, China? They were all from, I think they're all from this tech capital, Beijing or something like that. I could get what do you think that was? 30 feet wide? 30 feet wide by 20 feet tall, $28,000 LED screen for outside, inside and outside.
Wow.
And then we looked at a trailer. This is where Rob and I got excited. We looked at a trailer that looks like I think 24 foot long,
right? Dual
axle, whole 9 yards. But the top spreads and an LED screen comes up and the ends flop out. And now you have a trailer that you have to level it out, raise this thing up because it's on a big mast. And now you have it for crowds, overflows, parking lots, stuff like that. Yeah, I think, what did that lady say, $100,000 for that thing? $150,000.
Wow.
But if you want to get into event stuff, this is not to go down and have this is not to go down and have Sunday movie in the park thing. Well, you could because it's big enough, but this thing was, oh my God. I'm thinking to myself, I told Rob, I said, can you imagine just going to a con or to a home show and putting this thing up and letting everybody see themselves on screen as we're interviewing everybody? That's badass.
Yeah, they love that.
Badass.
Like, look, Mom, on TV.
So, but there was some really, really, I don't know if I remember who they were, but they were definitely probably one of the cooler things that I'd seen there. Bright Sign, I think is who they were. Yeah, Shenzhen was where everybody was the province from China, because that is their their tech world. So carousel signage, that's who it was, because they're from Minneapolis. I remember that because they're Minneapolis. But that was absolutely one of the coolest things you saw. This thing goes up, the middle of the trailer opens up,
right,
and then when you're up, once everything is up, you connect. Similar to that, yeah. If you go to carouselsignage.com, that's them, I do believe. Maybe it's not. Oh, this is not them. Oops, sorry, picked the wrong guys. Yeah. Oh, Screen LED US. It's kind of cool showing all this stuff because we go over there and walk. Rob and I walked all day long. LED screen trailers. That's it. Yep. Screen-LED.us. So if you could find the one of the truck, that's even better. Or the trailer. So yeah, I mean it is. If you scroll down, there's actually movement. There's one that goes up. Oh yeah, if you go down the mobile LED USA.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Look at that.
So now they make that where it fits into a trailer.
That's great.
Is that cool?
That is really cool.
One guy.
I love the way that that does that.
And then they have one that's. Did you find the one there that's in the trailer?
Hey, look at that.
Go below the black bar. Keep going. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, there it is right there. So anyway, so just in case now that you turn that trailer can be turned into your production facility as well. So everything can be inside of it.
Oh, really?
Because if you're outdoors and it starts raining, the door, the top of the trailer slides closed with a boot. Right.
Right.
And when you order it.
Oh, I see the door on it and everything.
So and when you order it with the type of generator that you need.
That.
Is that cool?
That is cool.
So you want to go in the LED sign business, just everything we got? That's what I'm thinking.
That's neat.
To me, that's just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
Yep.
Like, I love that work. Having
So 100. She said about 150 grand with the one that they had there at that place, and you just go in and I think Rob said that he used a company when he used to. I think who'd you do? Romney, Mitt Romney's when he was running for election up in Florida. He came to Florida, so they brought that for the overflow crowd.
Oh, nice.
So I think it's pretty damn cool myself. But yeah, so that's one of the other things. There was another one I found that I can't find them. I've been trying to look while I'm talking, which really is not a good thing because, but they had these people there that had, so when one of the biggest things we do cons is rolling all our crap in, right? Just not fun. Well, they had these people that had they had these chairs like we're sitting in right now,
right?
That folded up and fit in their own rolling cases.
Oh, nice.
It was a hard case. So
like these,
huh? Cozy Roadie. So he's going to try to find them on this. He's back there looking like I am. Oh, did you? Oh, there they are right there. See, that's what we look like. Show that on full screen there.
Yeah, see, that's moving them around like that's a mess.
Other than get rid of let's keep in touch. But see those four boxes all have a chair in them. So no more chaos when you're trying to, I remember the last time we did it, we literally had 5 guys rolling chairs.
Wow.
So instead, they help develop cases, but they're biggest on their chairs, and their chairs super comfortable.
That's nice.
Super, super comfortable. Now I'm pretty sure that I could just probably take everything I got together and throw it in a road case, but they literally have it set where it puts together in like 2 seconds. You drop the bottom, you put the mid case in there, you put the top on, you're done. Not bad, right?
No, that looks
$724. Nice. That's just, to me, that's it. So if you do cons and do shows and stuff like that, with us, those would save space in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
So I wouldn't sit there trying to kill myself. Okay, last thing that goes into chairs, and then we just kind of stack them on top of each other, and you're busting up stuff like that. So, so that's it. Yeah, we'll move on now from good old InfoComm. So let's just switch gears here, and let's talk about what happened at Target.
Yes.
So they said it wasn't a hack. I think it was a hack.
No, they're saying that it happened on the IT side.
But it happened the exact same date last
year.
time.
That's what they're saying. That's a lot of people are saying and hearing. So, but they did do a technology push, and their systems, for some reason, their registers are not set up to run in what they call offline mode. So most point of sale systems, if the internet goes down or something happens, then the registers can run in standalone mode and upload that information when the network or the computer system comes back up. But I guess the way Target run is that everything's their system's like a cloud-based.
Right.
If the IT team decide to push an update to their main cloud server that would control the whole network, it would literally shut down the whole system. And unfortunately, it looks like that's what may have happened in this case. So, which leads me to believe that if you run a business and for instance, you're completely dependent upon the internet, for instance,
which most are,
or one specific company for all of your services, it's time to think about do you have a backup solution? Do you have a cellular rollover for your data in-house? If your system can't function, you can't take sales because your system's down. If you're a business owner and say, for instance, somebody forgot to pay a cable bill and you don't have internet and you're on vacation, is your people going to be able to operate your business when the system goes down? Cellular rollover can plug into your your regular data network inside your office and plug right into your LAN network system. And in case of an outage, if it detects that the system lost internet, can automatically start up and start getting you internet again. Not going to be the fastest, but at least you can still operate your business.
Do you think they're doing this so they can keep up with Amazon and know what their inventory is in real time?
Most likely, there could have been a cost savings. It could have been bad planning on the IT department's end also,
Oh, come on, IT guys don't plan bad, do they?
They can. Sometimes we in the quest for the greatest and best, we kind of forget about, those what ifs,
Right.
and that really becomes an issue, and that's where you really gotta think about, hey, what happens if we lose internet? What happens if there's this particular server that we're deciding to use, goes down? How are we gonna operate? How are we gonna take sales? Is your credit card system? Do you have that on a backup system?
Right.
If your internet goes down, can it call out and through a cellular and make calls and get you authorizations for your credit cards so you can take your credit cards? How dependent are you upon one particular company? How dependent are you upon whatever services that you're running in your business? Make sure you have backups. Make sure you have a way of being able to continue business in case of a disaster or a general outage of, you just never know. There's always something that can happen. We run an in-house server that
Right.
hosts our billing system, but I also have a copy of it on a cloud-based server in case something ever happens in store. We have a backup of our system that, we can go ahead and upload and recreate our whole billing system at any given time, anywhere. So make sure that you can run your business.
Well, okay. So you want to make sure that. So you're saying that you could that would still. So if they had an in-house server, just in case the internet went down, they wouldn't have had this problem.
No, if they had an in-house server or say for instance one main register system that uploaded information to their main servers.
Right.
If the internet went down, the system could have gone into an offline mode. And what it would do is that server that's locally would be able to capture all those cash sales, for instance. So
Well, they could do cash. They just couldn't do check or credit card. Right?
no, they couldn't. They weren't even taking cash. They weren't doing anything.
Really?
Yeah, because the registers physically communicated. They had nothing.
They were in lockdown.
They were locked down, and that's not good. They should have some kind of an offline support.
I'd have had a manager or somebody. I'd have two people sitting there going, "Okay, we're going to add all this up, and your tax is this. Thank you very much. You can walk on out of here. Thank you very much. Take the cash at least."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can see not doing the credit cards because you can't run the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And the checks today is just basically all they're doing is they're just hitting your account and make sure that people writing a check think that they can get away with writing a check and it's not going to let it go. It checks your account. That's why
exactly.
That's why the check systems work. So it's just like using your debit card or using your check, same damn thing, because they still get to hit your account.
Yeah, I've seen multiple large corporations that have they'll have cloud servers and systems, but they have an on-premises. They have an on-premises server.
Right.
And their systems can go into an offline mode. They can scan product. It keeps track of all the pricing in the store. It might not be able to update inventory live right off the bat, but at least they can scan product. They can take their money.
Right.
They can do what they need to do in case of a major outage and stuff. And then when the system comes back up, it makes the call at the end of the day and says, "Hey, look, this is everything we did," and updates the main.
It just seems like they're always having problems.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in their IT department. I know when it was happening, I know a lot of the groups that we belong to had started questioning what happened and started kind of making fun of the
What was really
IT.
going on?
Yeah, what was really going on, and they were making fun of the IT team and stuff. But again, somebody, it could have been as easy as a patch that they sent up to the main server,
Right.
and it was not tested prior to, and something failed.
Okay.
And so all they would had to do is, I mean, they had the system back up in a couple hours.
Right.
But again, when you're talking about,
But then it happened the next day.
huh?
Then it still happened the next day.
Right, but the same situation. It's like trying to get a Windows update that never, that keeps failing and rolling back. It just doesn't quite
Not
work.
gonna do it today. Nope, I don't feel like it. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So you need to have that redundancy backup, which is a really good thing. So really quick, we only got like 4 or 5 minutes left. Have you seen the new Mac Pro?
The cheese grater?
Yeah, I don't care what you call it. It's
bad.
It's the baddest. It's the baddest computer that's going to hit the market.
It
today.
is not round.
No, it's not. And so we had it's not a trash can. So on Nerd Talk Friday night, we were talking about it, because it's a nerdy thing. And so one of my PC guys go, I can build a machine that can beat that, and for less money. And we're like, no, you can't.
No.
I think there's only one other card that can do what it does, and that card alone is like what, 30 grand? Is that what you said, Rob? We looked it up.
Yeah.
So for you to build the equivalent of the $6,000 machine is going to run you $36,000, and it can't be done on one PC.
And the thing is, on top of that,
in one case,
when Apple builds these things, they have specific firmware and all the technology that's in there that is written directly for them. So
Right.
this is not your same product. Yes, you can get a video card for a PC. You can't take that same video card and put it in a Mac.
Right.
It has to have an updated firmware
Right.
that Mac can recognize.
Right.
And those settings and all the way the card interacts, the way everything works, is set up specifically for Mac.
Yeah. Well, even okay, I mean, we challenged the nerds because they're all like, oh yeah, we could do this, we could. And Rob and I have already, actually, Rob more than me. Rob has put the time in, and you can't build a machine. And we're talking, so there's the $36,000 Mac, and there's the $6,000 Mac, the entry level one.
Mhm.
Even the $6,000 Mac, you can't build the equivalent.
No.
Well, you can, but you got to have multiple machines that are all tied together.
Right.
So Mac has finally come out with something that's for us pro users.
Yes.
And again, this is not a Mac that Uncle Bob's going to go buy,
No.
unless Uncle Bob's is an editor.
And you notice it has that AMD graphics processor.
So just, yeah. I know. I thought they were totally getting away from AMD and Intel. So, but I guess
I think that's going to take some time, but especially when it comes to software and stuff, their hands are bound when it comes to some of the developers to make sure that their stuff is going to be able to be supported.
Well, Premiere and
Right.
Adobe, and because they want that Intel side.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
But I'll tell you, it is an amazing machine.
Oh,
This is the first time I think that Mac's going to put something out that doesn't have to be updated or upgraded for at least, I would say, 3 to 4 years.
No, at least.
It's gonna have a shelf life. We think of how many? It's gonna probably have a shelf life of 5 years.
It can support up to 1.5 terabytes of RAM.
I know.
Wow.
That's just RAM.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
It can handle, and I was reading some of the specs, it can handle 8K raw video files.
Raw?
Raw.
Oh my gosh.
Raw. I'm not talking about pictures.
No
I'm
compression.
talking about video. And 8K raw is monstrous.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we saw the whole putting it together. I think I don't know if Rob has it or not back there, but we saw this thing being put together, and I'm sitting there going, I'm trying to count the slots. I'm like, oh, that's just RAM slots. That's just RAM slots.
What was it? 12 RAM slots, was it?
Something like that. And then the IC, or it's not IEC, but the the place where all your extra cards go, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing of it is you don't have to buy, you don't need to buy anything extra for this, unless it's an input card.
You can add in dual Vega 2 GPUs with a total of 64 gigs of video RAM. 64 gigs of video RAM.
Yep.
I mean, just imagine how quickly you can do encoding and stuff like that, and
yeah.
video processing would just fly.
But you can have 4 GPUs.
That's so sexy.
Yeah, you can call it a cheese grater. You can call it whatever you want to. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's stainless steel." I said, "No, no."
We can finally call it a better design.
It's a stainless steel frame. Exactly. That's what Rob said. They don't care what you call me. Just call me when it's time to edit.
That's right.
The frame is stainless steel, and the body is aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
It weighs 42 pounds.
Wow.
But you know what? It's not a laptop. It's not meant to carry around. It's meant to put in there and work on.
And we're not meant to tip it over.
Nope. Nope. Thing is a monster. So anyway, if you got any questions about anything we've talked about, if you have any questions you want to answer, which I do, I should have got those today, but I did not. I'm sorry. Email us at techshamans@webeamtv.com. Message us on Facebook.
Yep.
We forgot to put up our new QR code system. How many? Oh, we got 30 seconds left. We got plenty of time. That's a lifetime in this world. But yeah, so give us, if you got any questions, give us a call, and we will get back to you as soon as we can, or we'll address them online or on air. And yeah, so you guys have a good week. Got any questions? We'll see you guys later. Just make sure you get out to us. We'll talk to you later.
We are the Tech Shamans. We understand cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into